Hi, Taylor T. Carlson, and I'm back with another vinyl video for you. I think I officially have a problem. Ever since I got my record player a few weeks ago, I haven't been able to stop buying vinyl, and there are a handful of pretty good stores here in town, so that definitely feeds the habit. One of my favorite stores they have out here in Vegas is Zia Records. They're actually an Arizona-based chain that has stores in Phoenix and Tucson. And starting in 2005, they moved into the Las Vegas Valley. They opened a store at Flamingo and Eastern in 2005. About 3 years later, they opened one on Sahara and Decatur, and that one moved to the Rainbow Charleston area in, I believe, 2018. It's a great store with a lot of fantastic products, including movies, games, and books, and everything in between. So I've been going there a lot, and it doesn't help that the Rainbow Charleston location is right around the corner from my day job. Anyway, I'm just going to show off my latest video, which is a haul of stuff that I've gotten from both Zia Record Exchange stores over the last few weeks. I'm going to start off with a 10-inch release. You don't see a whole lot of these, but this is Marshall Crenshaw. This guy was one of my favorites to come out of the early 80s, sort of a power pop guy, really heavily influenced by 1950s sounds like Buddy Holly. I think if you're into artists like Nick Lowe and Elvis Costello, you'll probably like this guy. I didn't even really know that he was still going, but he was indeed, and I found this 10-inch single, and surprise, it's a transparent blue record, so that was a pleasant surprise. I didn't know I was going to be getting a colored disc. The single itself is a pretty decent song, but the real highlight is on the B-side, which is a cover of They Long to Be Close to You, the old Burt Bacharach song that was made famous by the Carpenters in the late 60s, early 70s. Going down the list, this I just barely got yesterday at the Rainbow Charleston store. This is the new reissue of Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory. Oasis was comprised primarily of Noel and Liam Gallagher, two brothers who are very talented, but unfortunately absolutely hate each other, and they pretty much will not work together at all anymore. Here's the back cover. This is like a tri-gatefold, so I'll show this off. See if I can fit all of this in the video size. But yeah, here this is, folded completely out. Fold that, and you got a nice photo of the two brothers there. And I'm going to show off the record real quick, because this is one of the most interesting parts of the package. Both of the vinyl discs that are included here just come in a plain black sleeve, but the actual vinyl itself is a silver disc. I'm not going to pull out the other disc because it's basically the same thing in terms of appearance, but very cool looking package, great reissue of one of my favorite albums of the 1990s. I don't think we're ever going to see the Gallagher brothers do anything together, because I think they would sooner kill each other, which is a shame given how much talent they've got, but you know, it is what it is. We got some great music out of them, and based on that, I don't think we can complain too much. Going into the used bin, I added to my Blue Oyster Cult collection and got Coltosaurus Erectus. Released in 1980, it was the first of two albums they had produced by the legendary Martin Birch, who we unfortunately lost a few weeks ago. Best known for his work with Iron Maiden, but the guy has gotten around and worked with a ton of artists. And the inner sleeve on this one's kind of an interesting story. The whole premise behind this cover art style and the pictures on the back was the Coltosaurus Erectus is supposedly this prehistoric monster, so you got a picture here of a kid in a museum, and then you got a young girl there in the same situation. Those guys certainly had their share of imaginative moments, and this certainly happened to be no exception. It's a great record. It includes songs like The Marshall Plan and Black Blade, the latter one of which being 3 songs they did co-written by Michael Moorcock, the legendary science fiction fantasy author. Another good find, I actually found this in one of the cheaper areas. This is the soundtrack to the James Bond movie Goldfinger. I absolutely love James Bond. I actually did a video ranking the James Bond actors a few months ago, and really eager for the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, which will almost certainly be the last one starring Daniel Craig, but unfortunately, it's been pushed back several months again, so we're not going to see it until 2021 now. But I'm still eager to watch it when we finally get it. Of course, I don't change my opinion when I say that Sean Connery is the greatest James Bond, and if you want to fight me on that, please feel free. One of my favorite finds, and this was actually in the budget section, this is Jim Brewer and the Loud and Rowdy, Songs from the Garage. Jim Brewer is a stand-up comedian who, I'm not super familiar with his comedy, but from what I can tell, he's a funny guy. Apparently, a lot of people think that I look like him when I post pictures online. I don't know if I can say that for sure or not, but here's the back cover. This is his first ever music album, and it's like a hard rock metal album, but it also still has his sense of humor about it. What's really surprising is the music on here is actually pretty good. He even gets Brian Johnson from AC/DC to make a guest appearance. There's a picture of Brewer on the inner sleeve. Got your obligatory lyric sheet there. And the vinyl itself is pink. There was a sticker on the original shrink wrap saying that this was like something that issued for breast cancer awareness and fundraising. So I don't know if this was also released in just plain black vinyl or not, but it's a very cool piece regardless, and I'm glad I got my hands on this. If you like classic hard rock and heavy metal and you like a little bit of comedy infused in it, this album is definitely worth checking out. It was a pleasant surprise when it came out about 4 years ago. I did a written review for it, and I'm looking forward to throwing that one on the turntable and revisiting it more in depth. Of course, one of the quintessential albums of the 90s, this is Nirvana, Nevermind. And Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dave Grohl at their absolute finest. Got songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, Come As You Are, Polly, and pretty much everything in between. You got the deeper cuts like Territorial Pissings and Breed and On a Plane. It's probably the best known album that Nirvana ever released, and with good reason. Here's the insert. Got some lyrics on that side. Got a photo of the guys. And if you look at the credits there, it's kind of small print, but Dave Grohl is actually still being credited as David Grohl here. This was actually, Nirvana did 3 proper studio albums in addition to a lot of other like live material and compilations, and this was the first one to feature Dave Grohl as a member of the group. And going along with the alternative punk sounds, this is Offspring Smash. Their 3rd album, released in 1994. This was the album that really brought them into the mainstream. Yeah, Epitaph Records, really great indie punk label where a lot of bands got their start. Like Bad Religion got their start on Epitaph. I believe the Vandals were on there as well. But this is a Zia Records exclusive reissue. Here's the lyric sheets, of course. But the record itself, the Zia exclusive reissue version, is a dark, slightly transparent purple, which is an interesting color and definitely my new favorite way to listen to this album. A lot of great deep cuts on here, but most people will know it for the hits Self-Esteem, Gotta Get Away, and Keep 'Em Separated, Come Out and Play. There's a lot of great stuff to be had here, and an album I'm definitely glad to pick back up and revisit. And the last thing in this stack from Zia, one of my all-time favorite classic hard rock albums, Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. The first of 2 studio albums he made as a solo artist, and the 2 that featured the late, great Randy Rhoads on guitar. Sadly, we just lost drummer Lee Kerslake a few weeks ago. Great drummer. He was also in Uriah Heep back in the 70s, and it's a fantastic album. There's also keyboard work from Don Airey, who would later go on to become the keyboardist in Deep Purple, replacing the late, great John Lord. Yeah, if you're a fan of classic hard rock and heavy metal, Blizzard of Oz is one of those albums you absolutely must have in your collection, and it's been reissued, remastered, and looks and sounds great. Have you had a chance to hit up Zia Records if you live out here in Vegas? If you aren't from Vegas and you're planning a vacation, is it a place that you're going to put on your list of places to visit? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Like this video if you found it helpful or interesting, and remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. I'm Taylor T. Carlson, and I will see you in my next review.